So what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Deemy and I'm back on the second channel today. And this is my first second channel video. In today's video we're talking about Achiuwa and why he can possibly win the most improved player next year. So if you are new to the channel for the first time, please hit the like button to the video, leave a comment on your thoughts. Let's run this channel to 100 subscribers. I'm gonna be posting Raptors content almost every week or every other week whenever this sports content stuff goes on for me. And yeah. Let's get it rolling. And we're gonna talk about Achiuwa and his time in the Raptors and all that. So let's run it and let's get this first video on the way. As for Achiuwa, who is a newly acquired Raptor for the Toronto Raptors, he has flourished in his opportunity with the Toronto Raptors after being included in a sign trade for Kyle Lowry, with Sam coming with Gordon Dragic as well. After this season, Achiuwa, he's been quiet, although at the beginning of the season, ever since the Ryan Stars game, he's been a lethal threat from beyond the 3-point line. As for example, in Miami, the system that they played was very different as he was playing with now with the Raptors. It showed that he truly didn't develop with the Miami Heat as for now with the Toronto Raptors. As for Miami, they wouldn't let him shoot a 3-ball, and as for the Raptors, they let him shoot a 3-ball on a given occasion on a night in and night out basis. But with the Raptors, if he sticks around, he can flourish his game in the future years. As for future years, if he plays well and better than this season, he can become the most improved player for 2022 to 2023 season, which is next season. If his development and game goes according to plan, due to his improved 3-point shooting, lethal defense on the perimeter, and the teammates he's been around on and off the court, he can flourish and expand his game as a player and as a visual despite his woes, as he can fix them and become a good big on the Raptors bench defensive line unit. Despite his woes, if he can fix them, he can be a good big for the Raptors off the bench unit. As I already said in the beginning of the video, ever since the All-Star break, Achiuwa has been shooting 40% and above from 3 ever since participating in the Rising Stars game, where he lit up the place and having 18 points and going 4 or 5 from the 3-point line in the final game. As he was on Team Isaiah Thomas's team, he was facing the likes of Cade Cunningham and many other Rising Stars in the final game. As for Cade going off, Precious was close in winning that award, as I must say. As for other coaches who recognize his shooting improvements, even the Raptors coach Nick Nurse has credited him and said he's seen a change in Precious' game ever since the Rising Stars game on February 28th, a day or two after a team's win over the Atlanta Hawks after his career-high game. As of right now, Precious is extending the floor beyond himself and for the Raptors shooting beyond 30% from 3 other teams, as they need shooters desperately. If I were to compare Precious to replacing the player of Serge Ibaka, as the Raptors definitely miss a stretch 5 to protect the floor and be a rim protector, and knee off the bench, Precious brings that each and every night. As for one example, let me give you an example of when Precious played his heart out. As for example, let me give you one example when I saw Precious almost take off. As for example, let's say for Precious when he played the Nuggets earlier in March, Precious went 4-6 from the 3-point line and had 18 points. Ever since then, Precious since the All-Star break has been shooting the lights out and has made a work in progress, and he's going to improve this next year. He can put his odds up for being the most improved player and be a problem in the NBA for years to come. Alright, as for now, let's talk about Precious on the defensive side of the ball. Precious' defense has been really good as he's only under 40% from 3 on 1 of 3 attempts for the 3-point line. As for what I've seen, Precious can play up and be a mobile defender in the court as the Raptors switch everything in guard positions 1 through 5 as they play position basketball their team as for adjustments they make on defense. Nick Nurse even said it Precious Achiuwa a long time ago. He quoted, "If a player is going off and getting hot in the game, he will put Precious on them, hold him accountable as he's one of the Raptors' top defenders as he's 6'8", and he can play very well on the perimeter. As Precious is 6'8", he can play well on the perimeter as many other bigs on defense thrive at that, like Joel Embiid and many others." Even for example, in the 76ers game for example, I'll even reference here that Precious played against Joel Embiid and he held Joel Embiid to take a 20 to the field and 0-3 from the 3-point line as Joel Embiid got to the free throw line about 16 or 20 times, but that's fine. As for Precious, he's one of their primary defenders, Nick Nurse throughout Embiid. He got most of the points from the 3-point line as those were earned and not given. As for Precious, he can show he can move very well on the perimeter on defense despite fouling a lot, and Precious done a solid job on both sides of the court, if I must say. As for young bigs like Precious, his improvements and growth can continue to flourish on the defensive end for next season and many years to come, as for making a run at that most improved player award even next season. But with many bigs with the likes of Evan Mobley, Joel Embiid, Precious Achiuwa can play up and play hedge defense on defense, as many centers play drop coverage, so it makes sense. But like Precious, he's had many good teammates to lean on with the likes of Gary Trent Jr., Fed VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam. Also, given the Raptors' record that they have right now, as they're in 6th in the Eastern Conference and out of the play-in, but if the Raptors played a bit better against teams under 500, they'll be 1st in the East, ethically speaking, joking their playoff position, as you can say, but teammates of Precious Achiuwa are crediting him for his grouse and sprouts in his game. Even Gary Trent has no especially been working the game on a night in and night out basis, as many sources of the Raptors media have asked, and his teammates have given him praise and results for his efforts on the court. But it's good to see Precious has good teammates with young players and a mix of veterans. But it's good Precious has good teammates so he can soonly establish himself in the league with the likes of good players and having veterans on his team. Alrighty guys, that's a video on Precious Achiuwa and why I think he can win the Most Improved Player Award. So if you are new, hit the like button on the video. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be back next week with some more videos. And subscribe to my main channel, I'll drop in the description, DeemyBaby, and I'll drop vlogs and all that, and he'll just drop Raptors content if y'all want me to. But anyways, it's your boy DeemyBaby. Have a blessed day, y'all. I'm signing out. See y'all next week. Raptors on. Peace.